Well, hello, my beautiful and amazing crafters. Welcome to another video of crafting with Shaneda. Are you looking for a fun and easy DIY gift idea for your favorite teacher? Well, look no further. Today I'm going to show you how to make these beautiful personalized teacher coasters just in time for Teacher Appreciation Week. So Teacher Appreciation Week is going to be May of this year, and I had a few clients that asked me for a few great gift ideas, so I decided to share this with all of you guys today. So all the items that I'm going to use, I will have listed in the description box below. So I purchased these deep cavity molds because I wanted to be creative with today's project. I wanted to add some fun decoration in each of the molds, so that way it makes it more unique and personalized for the teacher that we'll be giving this to. So I'm going to wash and clean and air out the molds and get it ready for the resin. Now for today, I'm going to be using a part A and B epoxy resin. I've been using this particular product for a few years and I really like it. I do think it's a very well beginner friendly resin. I am not an expert at resin. I've done a lot of resin projects, but I'm very conscious of the safety precautions when dealing with any kind of chemical, and I'm always practicing and working and getting better at my resin projects. So for the items that I'm going to place inside the resin, I picked up a few items from my local Dollar Tree and also Walmart, and I also ordered some items online. I plan on using some crayons, some safety pins, a few erasers, and I even picked up some paper clips as well. Now I have a few different looks I want to try out, and I also picked up this cork backing because I'm thinking about using this as well on one of my designs. Now let's get started. So what I want to do is I want to try different colors and just see what design I like the best that I could promote on my store. And what I want to do is I want to do 2 of the molds just with a clear base. I'll do 2 with a glitter base and then 2 with a color base. So what I want to do is I'm going to create a first layer of resin, and then I'm going to place my crayons and paper clips on top of this first layer once it's completely set. So for this first layer, I don't want it too thick or too thin. I just want a nice even bottom layer, so that way I can start building from here. I was able to fill up 5 of the deep cavities with about 8 ounces of my equal part A B resin, and then I just let that sit for 24 hours before I went on to the next step. So here it is the next day, and I'm getting ready to prepare and start adding all the fun elements into the molds. I plan on using a crown, an eraser, a tack, and a safety pin in each one. And right now I'm just placing the elements in, and I'll go back and just color coordinate it for the look that I'm going for. Now I'm just going back and just setting all the elements that I want in the mold. I know it's going to shift a little and move when I add this second layer of my resin. And I'm just going to coat it just enough where it covers the crown and all the elements, because I'm going to go with a third layer and add my vinyl to seal everything. This definitely takes practice just to get that right amount and just get that right coverage. And this part I just have just clear resin on top of each of the molds. So for the eraser, I forgot I wanted to just slice them in half using my X-Acto knife, so that way it just laid a lot more flat in the resin, so I had to go back and just fix this one. So I was feeling pretty confident about this project. I've done a few resin projects before and they always turned out excellent, but I was not happy when I went to check on this the next day. These two came out good. I'm gonna try to save them, but the crown started to lift on the other molds and I was not happy. So it just reminded me that, you know, when you try something new, it's okay to just test it out. I should have just tried one and learned from it. As you can see, the crown lifted and the glitter, everything looks so nice. I was so bummed, but I learned from it and I decided to keep going forward and just critique myself. Right here, the eraser underneath had a little bubble, so I went back to the drawing board and I decided to try something a little bit different with and just try it again. So I wanted to save two of those molds, so I went into Cricut Design Space and I made a template. I sized the circle at 3.8 inches, which would represent the actual mold itself, and I just created these little art pieces that I'm going to place on top of the mold. One of them, I saw this really cute pencil set and I wanted to just cut that out, and I'm going to show you a little trick that I do for projects like this. So I want to cut it out evenly in the circle. So I'm going to bring the circle in at the 3.8 inches and I'm going to change it from a basic to a score line. The reason that I'm doing that is that way I can have a better view in positioning my circle. So that way when I go to slice it out, I have a nice even cutout. So now that I like the way that it's positioned, I'll change it back to a basic cut. Select the crowns and the circle and slice it, and then remove all the unwanted pieces. So that way I got that nice perfect round element that I'm going to use in my project. And because I'm going to be printing this out, I decided to use some laminate to laminate all my images that I'm going to print out. I know sometimes dealing with resin, like I said, I'm not an expert when it comes to adding pictures and photos, but I did read that sometimes you will have to seal your photo with a laminate or Mod Podge, or even use a certain kind of paper, so that way it keeps it intact when you place it in the resin. So I decided to do that so I can save a couple of these molds, and then I'm going to just add them as a top layer, because these two were just a little flawed, but I want to try to save it. So for the final piece here, I went ahead and used some UV resin. And what I did with the UV resin was I placed the crowns and the paper clip with the UV resin, let that sit under the UV light before adding my resin, and that kept all those pieces intact and that came out perfect. So I will be doing that next time, just when I add my crowns or any element using the UV resin. So now that that second layer has completely dried, I'm going to go ahead and add the teacher's name. And I just used some Oracle 650 permanent vinyl. And then I'll seal the name with the final layer of resin. So my project has a total of 3 layers. The bottom layer, the layer that has the crowns and the paper clip, and then the top layer which has the teacher's name or saying. Now comes the fun part, and that is to demold these coasters after waiting those 3 days and trial and error. I'm so excited to get to this part and just demold them. They came out so gorgeous. I'm very happy with the way they turned out. With one of the clear options, I decided to just place a piece of cork on the back just to give it a nice look, different look. But I was very happy with the final results. And there you have it. This is such a thoughtful gift. It's surely to put a big smile on that teacher's face. So make sure to grab all your supplies and get started on this project. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's video. I hope you learned a little bit or a lot. You know we cannot wait to see you on the next video of Crafting with Shaneda. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. We have DIY tutorials every week, and we are growing, and we just appreciate all the support and love. Well, until next time, happy crafting.